In the 1880s, in Tuscumbia, Alabama, the Keller family faced a silent tragedy. Their young daughter, Helen, was left blind and deaf by an infant illness. By age 6, Helen was a wild child, bright but frustrated, trapped in a world of perpetual darkness and silence. She ruled the household with violent, uncontrolled tantrums. As a last resort, the Kellers sent for a teacher. The answer came in the form of Annie Sullivan, a stubborn, partially sighted young woman fresh from the Perkins School for the Blind. She arrived carrying only a suitcase and a singular, fierce determination. "I've been blind. That's my asset. I know what it is to be trapped in the dark." Helen greets Anne with a swift, destructive inspection, feeling her face and her bag. Anne immediately begins to spell words into Helen's hand, D-O-L-L, trying to establish the first connection. Helen, treating the motions as a game, responds by promptly hitting Anne in the face with the doll. "She is an afflicted child, Miss Sullivan. We must have patience." Patience? The world is not patient. Pity is a disservice. She needs discipline, obedience, and the recognition that everything has a name. The teaching began with a battle that electrified the house. At their first meal, Helen wandered the table, stuffing her hands into everyone's plates. Anne demanded she use a spoon and fold her napkin. This led to a monumental physical struggle. Annie wrestled Helen to the floor, forcing her to eat neatly and submit to the lesson. After hours, Annie emerged victorious, though the room was a wreck. Captain Keller, furious at the treatment of his daughter, wanted Anne fired. "You'll leave this house by the morning train." "Give me 2 weeks, Captain. 2 weeks alone with her in the garden house. No pity, no interference. Just Helen and me. I must break through this silence." The Kellers reluctantly agreed. In the seclusion of the garden house, Anne forced a dependency. She taught Helen manners, how to dress, and relentlessly spelled words into her hand: cake, water, pump. Helen learned to obey, and her behavior transformed. But the words remained empty gestures. The concept of language itself was still locked away. 2 weeks passed. Helen returned, clean and mannered, a civilized child. But the Kellers' pity returned with her. When Helen willfully spilled a pitcher of water at the dinner table, her father moved to let it pass. "For once, Captain, can you not let her finish what she started?" Seizing the moment, Annie dragged Helen outside to the water pump. She forced the pitcher into Helen's hand and began furiously pumping. Cold water gushed out, soaking Helen's other hand. Anne Sullivan, voiceover intense, spelling forcefully, W-A-T-E-R. Water. It has a name. As the cold flow rushed over her, something snapped. The years of silence broke. Helen stopped struggling. She pulled her wet hand out, then thrust it back in. She looked at Anne, then back at the water. She reached out and deliberately spelled back into Annie's hand. Water. Helen's soul was unlocked. She rushed from object to object, the ground, the steps, the leaf, demanding their names. Finally, she turned to Annie, and with a clumsy, profound effort, she spelled, "Teacher." Oh God, my dear brave Helen. The world, once dark and silent, had finally begun to speak. The teacher, haunted by her past, had finally found her miracle.